Hi, this is Kerrilee Blake from Thumbprint Realty. You seem to have a lot of questions, and I have answers. So, ladies, why are people so reluctant sometimes to buy that first home?
It's all education, and to get the stigma as to, you know, I don't make enough money, or I'm a single parent,
Right.
I can't do it. Well, you're doing it. You're doing it now. You
So,
can.
one of the responses that I received is more so towards instability. Well, I don't know if I'm going to live here. I don't know where I'm going to live.
Right.
You know, like, how do you address that? I just don't know.
So what I say to them is, okay, so I want to know what your goals are. Like, how long is it that you're planning on moving away? And if it's within a couple of years, then I'll say, why not pursue purchasing a home? By the time you're ready to move, you're building a certain amount of equity
Right.
that you can take from that property and pursue buying a property wherever you're going. Still keep the property that you have as a rental income.
Exactly.
So really feeding them with that idea of building wealth.
Right.
But some people have a fear, right?
Right.
And how do you help them get over that fear?
Right.
Yes.
You know, I've received a few phone calls this week from people who live in other states saying, "Hey, Carrie, I want to invest in your market. I want to invest in the Boston market, in Massachusetts." They're in other states and they want to put their money back into this market. And I'm sure if they had a little bit more foresight back then, they probably would have bought while they were here. But now they're trying to come back into
Right at the
Boston
height
market.
of the market.
I've seen a lot
Yes.
of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what else do we have? We have instability. What else? What else is out there? What is keeping people from wanting to take that first step?
Fear. Fear is a big factor.
Yes.
I would say mindset too. Like I had a girlfriend that when I told her that I was purchasing a home, she said, "Well, don't you want to purchase a condo? Like you're not married, you're not living with a guy."
Wow.
And I said, "Well, why do I have to be married or living with a guy to purchase a home?" Well, she said, "Well, look at all the things that you have to do. You have to, rake the yard. You have to make sure that the snow is removed." I said, "Well, can I hire someone to do that because it's investment property?
Right.
Like I don't have to necessarily have someone living with me to be able to do these things on my own."
You're very right. Mindset is huge.
It's an old-fashioned mindset with some people, and
We have
I
to
said,
change it.
we're in different times now, and the thing is, if you want certain things, go after them and go after them without any fear at all. You just go after it and say, "This is what I want. I'm gonna do it, and I'll figure it out."
Yes. And what's that doing? What's that teaching your kids?
Yeah.
That my mom, or if it's a single parent, bought the house on her own, taking care of it, and so you've now changed the next generation's mindset just that easily.
Wow. What else do we have? What else keeps people from taking that first step?
Well, they're not believing that they can actually do it,
Okay.
right? And so as realtor, what we do is we coach them. And we pray that they're coachable. not all buyers are coachable, right?
Right.
And so we coach them to that finish line, and we let them know. We help build their confidence and say, "Listen, I know you can do this,"
Right.
right? And so you coach them through the process and take them to that finish line, and the joy that comes with that.
Right.
in the
Sometimes
end.
it really just is lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
But there are ways to get the information. First-time home buyers course. How many of us took first-time home buyers course?
I did.
Yes.
I did.
I attend them all the time. Love them.
I've actually presented at several of them.
Right.
Yes.
They're
So
really
you have the
informative.
first-time home buyer courses. Everyone knows a realtor, whether they're practicing or not. Everyone knows a realtor, and even just these conversations
Yes.
is it's information. So reach out, join that first-time home buyers course. Talk to your realtor. Call me. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
And me.
And Marcy.
And I know several realtors. Call me.
And I hope you redirect them back here.
I'm not selling any houses.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's enough for everyone.
Yes.
There is,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Because everyone has to live somewhere, right? Whether
Yes.
you rent or you own.
The market is insatiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the big response: affordability. I can't buy because I just can't afford it.
A huge thing if I think someone is afraid, even in my field, conquer the fear, look at your credit. And I think once someone sees on paper where they are, then they can start to take the steps. So maybe they can't buy now because, they haven't been that great with their credit. But once you kind of look at it together and say, you know what, keep making these payments or keep doing what you're doing, and then let's revisit this in a year or two, I think you've just now put it on that person to, give them a little bit more confidence and actually show them the steps that can get them to where they need to be. So goals are really important.
And there are so many different ways to achieve the objective of buying. If perhaps you can't stand alone to buy that property, perhaps you can partner up with a family member, a mother, father, a sibling, anyone that you trust, combined efforts, income sources, resources.
Best friends?
Best friend is also an avenue. So don't rule yourself out until you have explored all options.
I think also the fear is that a mortgage is long term. It's 30 years, right? As opposed to when you're renting, you can get out of it a little bit more easier than you can get out of a mortgage. So I think some people are fearful, like, oh my goodness, if I purchase this home, this is something that's long term. It's more responsibility, as opposed to when you're renting, it's not as much responsibility. So again, it goes back to mindset. Are you ready to purchase a home? Because it is much more responsibility when you think of utilities, water, gas, electric, those things that you may not necessarily have to pay when you're renting a home. Renting an apartment.
And I think if you're talking to a realtor working closely and you're looking at all the costs of what it would cost to own a house in a certain city, and you have that number there, it's not as scary. Although you might not be paying that while you're renting, I would still rather have the choice on my end to buy the home, and if I don't want it or can't afford it, then I can sell it. Remember, it's always going to appreciate, that we've seen, and get something else. But if you don't have that choice, you don't have the choice,
Right.